I'm tired. I'm tired. I thought I was gonna come on here with a lot of energy, but I'm tired. But I want to just knock this thing out. We did it, guys. We created the first interview, the first body odor interview. I'm glad Ben was able to stop by on that Friday night and just chat with me for a little bit because the last guy backed out, and I felt like this was gonna be like a common occurrence, like people just change up their schedule for last minute and say, "Oh, I can't really make it today." But he did come, and he did have a very interesting interview. And I'm glad that I watched it over again because the first time I was actually doing the interview, I couldn't hear him that well. That's why I kept on asking him, "What'd you say?" or "Did you say this?" because I couldn't hear him at all. But when I rewatched the interview, I found out that my audio was janky. My audio was messed up. So now I'm thinking to myself, maybe the next interview I should bring like a microphone or something like that. In addition to that, if we can just talk about the interview in itself, he said a lot of interesting things that made me think about stuff. A lot of stuff I disagreed with, like, I don't really disagree with optimism. I think optimism is good, but at the same time, I feel like it makes me want to do an interesting topic about optimism and pessimism because a lot of people are optimistic about this condition, and they're not really optimistic. They're just like, "I'm gonna beat it," but for me, I'm like pretty pessimistic. I see it and I don't even really feel like it's pessimistic. I just think a lot of people think that I see things in a negative light, but I think I just see things in reality for what it is. And he was making another comment about how these bugs are in his system or whatever it is. I don't know if he was talking about parasites or he was talking about bad bacteria. And he made a comment saying something to the effect like, "We are their gods," and I sort of agreed to that to an instance, but I really started thinking about it, and I sort of like disagree in a way because it's like, yeah, they're in our systems, and we can control it, but only to a degree. And when I think of the concept of God, I actually think of like the concept of being an all-knowing, all-understanding person. And the thing is, we don't really understand anything that's going on. We're just pretty much swinging in the dark. We know that we can control it by, eliminating certain foods and only eating these types of foods, but we don't know exactly what those foods are. So I never really thought about it as we are the gods of the whatever the thing is that's causing us to smell bad, whether it's parasites, whether it's bad bacteria, whether it's just like malfunction in the liver. We have some control, but I don't know if we really have too much control. But I didn't really want to talk. Well, I did want to talk about that because I wanted to actually highlight some of the things he said and possibly make like topic videos about that. And one of them is that. One of them is optimism versus pessimism. Are you optimistic about the future or are you pessimistic about it? Another one is, do you feel like you are in control of your condition? Another thing that I wanted to talk about is simply this. Just earlier today, he sent me an email where some woman sent him an email about how to control the odor, which I think is really good, simply because I wanted to do another interview, which was a goal of mine for this channel, is to bring people on who feel like they have controlled it or treated their whatever body odor condition, whether it's TMAL, fecal body odor, or whatever you call it. I want to bring them on and explain the regimen they do to the point that they have reduced it to the degree that it is manageable, where they can still live a sociable life even though they still have it. I want to bring those people on and I want to ask them questions on what regimen you do, what type of products you have, how much do they cost, what type of foods you eat, etc., etc. But yeah, I didn't want to make this a long thing. I just wanted to talk about we did it. We did our first interview. There's only 99 more to go. There's only 99 more to go. And the next thing on the list is to possibly try to be live on Google Hangouts or be live on YouTube and Facebook. And the second thing I had on my mind is to do like a round table discussion on topics. I constantly make topics up and film them and stuff like that, but I have this idea that we can sort of either talk about some of the topics I talked about or talk about a topic that everybody wants to talk about. Like I might make I might make a video and say, hey, what topic do you want to talk about this week? And whatever is the highest rated or highest liked question or comment, we'll talk about that topic. And then like on a Saturday or something, a Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we might get like 2 to 3 people to start talking about that topic, whether it has to do with, I don't know, optimism versus pessimism. Do you think we'll be lonely for the rest of our lives? Whatever the topic is. Oh my God, it's 5 minutes. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to shout out Ben. I also want to shout out the next interview that's going to come up next Friday. And yeah, I think that's it. The end. Ugh.